What's going on, my good people? This your boy Life Up the Entertainer, here to bring you some action between Grambling State University and Jackson State University. This is going to be an interesting battle between both of these bands. They're good rivals between each other bands. They both Tigers. They both got uniqueness. They both famous. They both at the, Jackson State's peak, and Grambling's getting back to their peak. So it's interesting to see both of these bands go at it right now. So can't wait to see what we're going to grade. If you're new to this channel, please consider liking and subscribing. It means so much to me. Okay, before we get into the action, I would like to tell y'all I have a membership program. So if y'all want to be a part of the membership program, you get certain perks. You can request certain band battles, etc. from the 90s on up. Even if it's current gen, also I'll be only strictly grading drumline battles. So if you're interested in that, please consider being part of the family, be a member, okay? It's only $2 a month. Again, it's $2 a month. I'm going to put a video above to explain more perks that you would get being a member. So it'd be definitely worth your while if you want to see some different type of content from me, okay? So also, you can also hit that thank you tab below. That means so much to me as well if you want to just still donate to the channel. But if you don't decide to do that and you don't want to donate, that is completely fine. Liking and subscribing is a free digital handshake for me. Alright? So, one thing I would say about this battle, I haven't got a chance to look at it. I want to tell people, please check your attitudes at the door. I'm not showing any favoritism to any band. Both of these band organizations are great. What I would say is that I'm not grading who won this and who won this. I'm grading the overall grade. Okay, I'm giving the overall grade on who was the strongest band presented in Las Vegas. Okay, so we combining halftime footage and fifth quarter footage to see who was the strongest band. Okay, so one band might be stronger in fifth, one band might be stronger on halftime, but I want to see who is the strongest band all together. Okay, so we have a point system with that. So please look to the cards next to me so you know we'll be grading for halftime. We're going to be grading entrance, songs, formation, dancers, breakdown, and overall creativity. Maximum points they can make all together is 25. With their creativity, they can round it to 30 possibly. Okay, it depends on what they bring to the table. Alright, so what I would tell you, my expectations for this field show. Okay, I'm expecting 8 to 5 to be there. I'm expecting the step-offs to be clean, making sure that, nobody hesitates on that. I'm expecting the dancers to do their stunts well, look clean, not look like they out there just guessing. I will want the songs to sound very clean if they're stationary. I give them a little sense of, because when you're marching, that sound kind of shakes. So if they stay in stationary and the sound is, clean, then they good. Now, as far as entrance, I will hope that they bring some uniqueness to the field. But my main thing is, as long as it looks good, that's what matters to me. When it comes down to formations, symmetry is everything. Symmetry is everything. So I'm looking for symmetry as well. Last but not least, when it comes down to breakdown, I'm expecting 3 breakdown features from both bands. Okay, 3, at least 3. Okay, now I know one band breaks down the whole entire time, which is Grambling, so I don't have to really worry about them in that department. But I'm just saying in general, I'm expecting at least 3 breakdown features from the band. Alright, so with that being said, I'm gonna shut up. Let's get into the action. Gremlins first.
The following performance is rated G. I introduce to you the 2 trailblazers to ever touch a football field. From the Lappy Tappy, Lappy Institute, Internationals, and a bad boy from Shreveport, Louisiana. Dan Marshall Jr., 2 of the best, 2 elder, 2 Los Angeles.
shaking back. having a ball so far. That was a great field show. Real good field show. Alright, but it was not a perfect field show. Alright. So, entrance is a 5. Songs is a 5. Dancers, I'm gonna give them a 5. Breakdown, I'm gonna give them a 5. Creativity, I'm gonna give them a 5. Formations, I'm gonna give them a 4. Okay? So almost a perfect. I'm gonna give them a 29 on that. What I would say about that field show, formations, everything was good with the symmetry for the majority, but there was some step-off issues. There was a situation when the cameraman was in the way with one of the home players' way, and so they kind of threw him off in a little bit. They kind of shook back, but it was something that happened on the right-hand side of the field. It's like, I don't know if he hesitated or like kind of slowed down just a little bit, but it looked like he almost fell and bust his ass. So, but, for the majority, it was still straight. Formation stayed clean. Very unique field show. Dancers, I gave them a 5, but they almost got a 4, by the way. It just seemed like they weren't all the way clean, but they were clean at the same time. But it was strong enough for me to say it was a 5. So it was like barely passing to a 5, but it could have been a 4 as well. Just want to throw that out there. But very strong field show. Very strong field show. 29, that's 1 point away from a perfect 30. So I do not know what to expect, but hey, that's a hard score to beat. That's a hard score to beat. I'm just saying, Jackson's going to have to pull out the woodwork for them to capitalize. That's all I got to say. All right? So hopefully Jackson can capitalize. So if you made it this far in the video, please consider liking and subscribing. It means so much to me. We finna get into Jackson. Again, ladies and gentlemen, if you like this type of content, be a part of the family, okay? It means so much to me, okay? Let's get to it. Jackson, let's go. whole squad. And bass drums. Percussion forgot the fish. double check, making sure they ain't got nothing else going on. See, I always gotta check and see. That's why you always wait till the end. All right, let's give it a grade. Was it a perfect? No, but was it a good grade? All right. So creativity, I'm gonna give them a 5. Breakdown, I'm gonna give them a 5. Dancers, I'm gonna give them a 5. Songs, I'm gonna give them a 5. Entrance is a 5. Formations, I'm gonna give them a 3. All right. So they got them a 28. Okay. 2 points away from a perfect 30. All right. So my verdict when it comes down to that, when it came down to the drill, when it's just in particular, man, when you forget the field show, it can show. All right. And the bass drums did not make it to the line, and it was in the center, and it threw off the symmetry. At first, you couldn't really notice it, but then when everybody got in the line and that was the single line, you'd be like, what happened? What happened? And then you saw it looked awkward when it was marching back and trying to space them out slowly but surely. So it kind of looked bad when it came down to that. But besides that, the rest of the field show was straight. They was kicking some ass. All right. So who's ahead? All right, ladies and gentlemen, Gremlins ahead by 1 point. Counted 1 point in halftime. All right. That can definitely change in fifth quarter. Okay, but Gremlin is ahead by 1 point. All right. So I do not know what to expect from this battle, but I'm excited to see what they're going to bring. All right. But I want to tell y'all before we get into the fifth, I'm not grading how strong an arrangement is. Okay. These are 2 different bands with 2 different types of pens. Okay. So one pen might be stronger than the other. All right. But what I want y'all to understand, I'm grading the execution of the field show, not the field show, but the fifth quarter. Okay, the execution of the arrangements. All right, these arrangements can vary. All right, but I want to hear how clean the band sound. I'm looking for them sounding together, them sounding put together. Okay, because this is a collegiate band at the end of the day. I do not care how strong a band sound, how if they loud does not always mean that band is clean. I want to throw that out there as well. Just because your band is loud does not mean that it's clean. So I'm looking for everything to sound clean from both bands. All right. So with that being said, look to the cards next to me so you know what we'll be grading. Okay, we're gonna be grading sound selection, power, articulation, arrangement, and overall cleanness. Maximum points they can make all together is 50. All right. Now this is a decent sized fifth. It's not a long fifth, but it's a decent sized fifth. So I'm excited to see what they're going to bring. Okay. So with that being said, I'm going to shut up. Let's get into the action. Grambling? Okay, Grambling. Okay, Grambling. They biting. I feel y'all. Alright. Song selection, I'm giving them a 10. Powers, 10. Articulations, 10. Arrangements, 10. Cleanness, I'm going to give them a 9. Almost a perfect. Alright. Reason why I say almost a perfect is the high brass. I feel like some of the phrases can come out just a little bit cleaner. But, you know, you got to remember, you know, they kind of bunched up and everything, but it could be cleaner. But it was still good. It was still good. Almost a perfect. Almost a perfect. Right there. Moving on. Okay, Grambling. Come out swinging then.
We have got to the point where
Jackson. Woo, Jackson. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Oh man, that was nice. Give that shit a Ric Flair moment. Woo! Oh man, that pen. That pen was so crucial. That pen was so crucial. Oh my goodness. Oh man. Moving on. Woo. Woo. It left the smoking. Grambling. Okay. Grambling. Ooh. Look, almost a perfect. It's right there. They just got to round off the edges. Like, I'm mad because they're right there. All right, like there's some parts in the middle of the song and kind of close to the beginning when the kind of like the lower brass, not the tubas, but the lower brass need to attack together. A little bit with the high brass as well. So it's like right there. They just need to fine tune the small parts in that song and it'll be perfect. They just gotta attack it right. Oh man, like it's like right there, right there. All right. Almost a perfect. Not bad, Grambling. Not bad at all. This is going to be interesting to see. It's an interesting feel. Okay, Graham. Jackson State. Give that shit a Ric Flair moment. Woo! Oh my gosh. You know what arrangement give you chills? It's one of them. They on one Super Saiyan in this thing, fam. Oh my gosh. And I gotta give them a pin. They got a super combo on their ass, bruh. Oh, Jackson. Ooh, Jackson. They heating up. They heating up, fam. Oh, shit. Jackson. Oh, man. That arrangement just chef kiss, dog. Chef kiss, dog. Oh, my goodness. They made love to that song, dog. Crucial. Crucial. That's that pressure. Moving on. Graham. Okay, Grambling. Give that shit a Ric Flair moment. Woo! Oh man, that shit was nice. Okay, Graham. Put it on a name. Put it on a name. Okay, Graham. I got you. Woo! That's a well-deserved perfect. Well-deserved perfect. Sounded very good. Very, very good. Very balanced. Had dynamics. Everything about it was pretty. Woo! That was nice. Yes, Grandma. Moving on. Rest in peace, D'Angelo, dog. Rest in peace, D'Angelo. Gone but not forgotten. Alright. So, was a strong arrangement. Yes, I got to give him a pen. But almost a perfect. Alright. The intro needed to be a tad bit cleaner. I can tell that was a strong song to pull out. They got a strong arrangement to it. That has the potential to be very great if they pull it out on another band. They just need to sprucing up a little bit on the beginning. There's some parts that need to be fine-tuned in that piece. But almost a perfect. For the majority of it, it was good. You know, if you ever listen to the song, it has a swing to it. You know, so it's a different type of feel. You know, it's a different type of grid. So with that swing, you can tell that it was kind of throwing off some of the band members just a tad bit. And so, especially in the beginning, you know, so I just think they just need to make sure that they get that part fixed, you know. But for the majority of it, was good. All right, and moving on. Good song selection, though. I love that. Love that. Yes, Grambling. Give that shit a Ric Flair moment. Woo! That's what I'm talking about. They don't win Super Saiyan as well in this thing, man. And I gotta give them a pen. That's something on my hidden list. That is something on my hidden list I would give to any band. Oh my goodness. Good arrangement. Great arrangement. Woo, that was nice, Graham. Same thing for Aaliyah. Gone but not forgotten. Alright? So, but yes, strong response. I enjoyed that. I couldn't even complain about it. That was just, it was nice, very balanced sound. I really want to throw that out there. That was a balanced sound, very balanced. I enjoyed every bit of that. Every bit of that. Moving on. Alright, Jackson, let's see what you got. Jackson. Oh man, Jackson. They don't got that perfect, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! Jackson. Woo. When they get going, they get going. Oh my gosh. Woo. Jackson. That's all I gotta say, Jackson, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, look, we got one more battle left. One more round. One more round and we done. One more round. Last round. Alright? Let's get to it. Grambling. Oh my gosh. Man, they are like charged up on that ass. Grambling. Oh my goodness. Oh man, they went Super Saiyan Blue God in this thing, fam. They just charged up on that ass, bruh. Ooh, Grambling. That's a hitter, fam. That's a hitter right there. Grambling. Woo. Grambling, yes indeed. Oh shit. Moving on. That's a good way to close it for Graham. That's a good way to close it for Graham. Let's see what you got, Jackson. Them octaves. Oh my goodness, Jackson. Woo, Jackson. Man. Ooh-wee. I gotta give him that, man. They went Super Saiyan in this thing, man. 2 times Super Saiyan. That was crucial from them, okay? Now, one thing I would say, just to give it a minor critique, just minor, not big, minor critique, I would want the high brass make sure that they don't get too happy and start missing. All right? It was just 1 or 2 parts here and there that was kind of missing, but that was it. I mean, everything else was clean put together. I just think high brass, just make sure y'all don't get too carried away. All right. So, we at the end of this video, so we got to find out who won this battle. So, I'm going to say this. If you skipped ahead and did not watch this video, shame on you. Alright? Watch the full video to see why I say what I said. Okay? Why these grades the way they are. Alright? So, I want to thoroughly put that out there. If you skipped ahead, watch the video. I don't even want to see y'all comment if y'all didn't watch the video. Okay? Now, if you watched the video and you enjoyed the video, comment below. That means so much to me. Alright. So, who won this battle? Alright. Let's give it to you raw and uncut. Okay? So, when it come down to halftime, Grambling was ahead by 1. Alright? So, technically speaking, Grambling beat them in halftime. Alright? When we come down to 5th, okay, Jackson kind of got the upper hand on them prior to. Okay? So, Jackson won 5th by 1 point. Alright? So, what does that leave us? It's a tie. Alright? It's a tie, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? Both bands did phenomenal in the 5th. Okay? Now, if I would say preference, Jackson won in the 5th. Alright? They won by 1 point on my scale. Alright? They won by 1 point on my scale. Okay? Grambling beat them in halftime by 1 point. So, I mean, we the move week, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. It's a tie. Alright? That's just going off of what I got. This is overall grade, so you got to give both bands praise. They did very good. Both bands did. And if you can't see that, I'm sorry to tell you, but it's true. Okay? Both bands did. So there's no band bashing. Both bands receive a dub from me. That's great. Alright? So, what can these bands work on? Alright? So, this is my honest critique for Grambling's band. One thing I would say for Field Show. Alright? For Field Show, what I would want them to try to strive to do better is just make sure that they stay consistent with the 8 to 5. Make sure that y'all don't slip, or make sure y'all keep y'all footing right. Okay? I think that's one thing I would say. Drill was perfect. Drill was really good. I would just say just make sure that y'all step-offs are clean. Okay? That's all I got to really truly say about that. 8 to 5s was pretty much there for the majority, but make sure that y'all 8 to 5 was just slightly cleaner and step-offs are slightly cleaner. When it comes down to the 5th quarter for them, one thing I would tell them is that the first 2 songs
Victory.
Need to be sprucing up. After that, they did not miss. After the first 2 songs, they did not miss after that for me. Okay? So Grambling did fairly good. Those last 3 songs that they did, they were smashing. They were smashing. Grambling's last 3 songs, they were smashing. Alright? Now, when we look at Jackson, what could they work on? Alright? So, when we look at their drill, that drill is a complex drill because it's quick. It's very, very quick, and you got to really know where you're going and how you're counting. Okay? Unfortunately for them, in that Field Show, the bass drums threw them off the percussion. Okay? So, it was a percussion issue. I think that they just need to make sure that they remember the Field Show a little bit better. Work on remembering our Field Show. Go over that a little bit more because we can all tell when you mess up, especially when it's a big, it's a line and there's a gap missing. You know what I'm saying? So it would have been different if the bass drums was marching off. That would have been different, but they stayed in the center, so it kind of threw everything off. All right. So when it comes down to 5th, they were smashing the majority of the time. They only had 1 hiccup. They only had 1 hiccup. So, and that was their 3rd song. But everything else, they were smashing for the majority too. Okay? So, I mean, look, like I said, they beat Grambling in the 5th. They did. But they just need to make sure that they sprucing up on that 3rd song. Make sure they fix all the nicks and crannies in that. But I enjoyed it from both bands. Give both bands their flowers, y'all. Don't sit here and bash any other band organization. They both did great. Okay? This is why I do this. Is for people to understand that, you got to look at everything presented. Okay? You can't just say one band's better than the other. It'd be different if they clean sweeped them. That's different. But it was no clean sweep. It was an even battle for both bands. They both held their own against each other. No band was better than the other. They were both evenly tied. So I enjoyed it. So with that being said, man, if y'all enjoyed the video, thank y'all so much. I want to give a special shout out to my channel members. Without y'all, this won't be great. So thank y'all so much for being part of the membership program. If you want to be the membership program, please do so or hit that thank you tab below. All proceeds will go to me affording YouTube Premium and more perks to come. Okay? So I really appreciate y'all, man. I'm going to shut up. I love y'all. I'm going to catch y'all on the next one. Deuces.